This year, the women of WWE are getting all kinds of firsts. The SmackDown girls, they went out there, they gave us the first women's Money in the Bank at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Then we had the co-branded Women's Royal Rumble at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And now we're getting the first Women's Elimination Chamber. WWE breaking down all walls, basically saying that if the men can do it, the women can do it also. I'll be honest. When they said they were going to do the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, I honestly said I want to know how they're going to do it. They didn't have 30 women on the roster. I talked about Ravi's tweet of basically saying that the women can't even pull off a good Survivor Series match. How are they going to pull off a Royal Rumble? I'll give it to you. This year's Royal Rumble was one of the best Royal Rumble pay-per-views of all time. The women's Royal Rumble knocked it out of the park. The men's one was probably the best one that they ever put on. I have my doubts about an actual Elimination Chamber match. The Elimination Chamber match is the one match that was built that there was no give. I've heard competitors basically say that the Elimination Chamber is one of the hardest matches on your body in the WWE that they've ever come out with. Basically, you're wrestling on top of a ring with no give because of all the steel that is built around it. You can't do any spots outside of the ring because when you do, you fall on that sort of steel platform that they have built. I don't know how they're going to be able to pull this off. They've got some really good talent inside of the Elimination Chamber. You've got Alexa Bliss going in as the champion, defending against Bayley, Sasha Banks, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, and Mickie James. Here I was looking at her picture and I couldn't even remember her name. I guess if you brand this up, it looks like the girls are trying to split themselves into factions of two. That way, everybody has a little bit of backup inside of this and it doesn't turn into a 5-on-1 affair. We've got the friendship of Sasha Banks and Bayley that goes back all the way into the days of NXT. That I guess magically, once they both came up to the main roster, they were friends, even though at the end of Sasha Banks' run there, they were the biggest rivals, having the big match where Bayley would win the championship, and then they would have the rematch in the first ever Iron Woman match on the NXT Takeovers. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose both came into WWE being led by Paige. Paige has since had a neck injury where she's not able to wrestle. And I thought that she was going to be leaving the company after the Royal Rumble, but she has stuck around to sort of be the mouthpiece and be on screen, helping these girls out as much as she can. I don't know what Paige can do from outside of the Elimination Chamber, but I know that, deep down, I really believe that I bet Paige really wants to be a part of this match in any way that she honestly could. And on Monday Night Raw, we've had Alexa Bliss come out and save Mickie James from an Absolution beatdown, which led to Mickie James and Alexa Bliss actually teaming in a match against Absolution. If you go back, Mickie James was brought into WWE as sort of this secret friend of Alexa Bliss that was sort of dressed up like in a sort of knockoff Superman suit, coming out and helping Alexa until I believe about WrestleMania, when they had the WrestleMania 6-pack challenge. When I guess Mickie didn't really turn on Bliss, but just said that they didn't want to be a team anymore because Mickie had a chance to actually go out and win the championship, and if she had the chance to win the championship for her own, she was going to bring that home. This is always a hard match to sort of pick. The winner of this match is going to be going to WrestleMania to fight against Asuka, who won the first ever Royal Rumble. I mean, my first thoughts looking at this is that basically I can cross out Mandy Rose, I can cross out Sonya Deville, I can cross out Mickie James, I can even possibly cross out Bayley. I think that the two odds-on favorites to win this match would be Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks. Bliss has been the champion for a good long time, which sort of hurt you going into WrestleMania. I think that Asuka versus Bliss is not probably the biggest headlining main event match that you could put on the WrestleMania card. Sasha Banks, a girl who really loves wrestling, which if you read the dirt sheets, sometimes her attitude is the only thing that really holds her back behind the scenes. But I mean, think of what Sasha Banks has brought to WrestleMania since making her debut at WrestleMania 32. She has always gone out of her way to make sure that she is one of the women that you are really thinking about, even if she is not the one who actually wins the match. In my mind, I think I'm actually picking Sasha to win this match, going off of how strong she was in the Royal Rumble. I believe she came in as one of the first contestants and was in there almost all the way down to the end before being eliminated by, I believe, Nikki Bella to do it. I think Sasha Banks going up against Asuka at WrestleMania would be a really, really good, fresh match that we have not seen yet. And, even though I think Asuka is going to win the title at WrestleMania, could be, sort of a good point for Sasha Banks to launch into a feud against Asuka and see how Asuka can do against strong competition in the WWE on the Monday Night Raw brand.